too many O's in horror.
How's your morning going? You asked me, and I rudely didn't ask you back.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going fine. Me and Beth just made breakfast and hung out, watched memes while we ate.
The best.
Oh, yeah, no, it's ridiculous. We were like, all right, what are we going to do while we make food? We made like a tofu scramble and use some of those Beyond sausages.
Oh, I love those, man.
Yeah. They keep them in the frozen aisle now at the Harris Teeter by my house.
Like the bratwurst or like the...
No, the breakfast sausages.
The actual breakfast sausage.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's been chill.
I stayed up late watching that shitty Marilyn Manson movie.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, it was so boring.
I believe it. I don't see him as a good actor, you know? Like, I think he's a good performer, but not an actor.
See, I think he's a really good actor.
Really? What have you seen him act in other than acting like a douche all the time?
He was in Sons of Anarchy. He played like the head of like the Aryan Nation in the last season.
Oh. Yeah, I've never watched Sons of Anarchy.
Dude, it's a great show.
It's what I hear. I really only want to watch it to see Henry Rollins and Peggy Bundy.
Dude, and she's in every season, so she's great. Because like she's married to the showrunner. That's not why she has the role. She has the role because she's great in it, but she happens to also be married to the showrunner.
Yeah, yeah.
But Henry Rollins is like great in it because he plays a Nazi.
That's what I heard.
Like, yeah, he fucking personifies everything he hates about the world, or like everything he hates, like in people, and it's fucking incredible.
Okay,
and that's the second season, so you only need to watch 2 seasons if you want to get to Henry Rollins, you just got to get through the first season, then he's in the second season.
Cool. I'm sure I'll watch it somehow. I was thinking about restarting a couple TV shows because I was going through HBO Max stuff, and I was like, "Fuck, there's so much stuff here I want to watch."
Do you have Hulu?
I have everything now. I have too much. I might as well just have bought cable because of the amount of money I'm spending. Because that's what we have right now. Like we have Sling, HBO Max, Hulu, Disney Plus. I think that's Netflix.
Yeah, we got Netflix too.
We got the big 5.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
and my sister has Shudder, and I have her login. I have not spent any time on it.
I almost signed up for Shudder, but I don't watch enough movies anyway.
Yeah, I did the week free trial, and there was this like the reason I signed up is because there was this like documentary on the making of Hellraiser 1 and 2. And that documentary was awesome. So, like, that week, I watched that, and that was, like, it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, actually, I was going to talk about one of those, like, streaming services in the episode today because I was deep diving Crackle, and I was like, oh, my goodness.
You told me about that. I'm excited to hear about that.
It's
you want to get started?
Yeah, let's go ahead with the intro.
All right.
Intro bust, biatch.
All right, so I'm... All right. Count me down. 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to all. I immediately bombed it. But
well, welcome to the Wizard.
Welcome to.
All right.
I forgot what our podcast was called.
All right.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Adult Crash, episode 2. My name's Frank.
I'm Jordo.
With me, as always, is Jordo.
It me.
All right. So.
Word up.
What have you been watching?
Oh, this week? So, Wandavision, obviously, because that new episode was sick. Let's dive into that first.
Fire. Okay.
So glad that as it
wait. Spoilers. So if you're watching
anything we talk about is spoilers at this point. People should know. I'm so glad the internet was wrong, and Mephisto at the moment does not seem like the big bad. At the moment.
It seems that way.
Because you sent me a meme about that episode 6 Easter egg where someone outlined that shark's surfboard to make it look like it said Nightmare on it. And then I went and watched that episode back, and I was like, that doesn't look like Nightmare at all. Like,
no, it didn't. Like,
no.
Yeah, because I rewatched it too, because I was like, oh, so does it say Nightmare? No, it doesn't. But didn't he say Nightmare? I think he says the word.
I don't think he does. But anyway, the TikTok sleuths, I'm glad that they're off the case, because now the reveal is there, and I'm like, good, cool. I like this villain a lot more, and it makes more sense. And now I want to go back and watch the whole series and see where she's at in all situations now, because Agnes was just like, I'm always here when all the bad shit's happening, and it's just that little song they gave her too after the reveal was so good.
Yeah, dude, I loved it, dude.
And I killed Sparky too. I'm like, dude.
And that evil laugh after she said that, dude, perfect.
It's like, it was so telling from the previous episode when she was dressed as a witch, and then she was just like, yeah, there's no hope for any of us, and then she goes into like a full cackle. You're like, You left episode 6 feeling sympathetic for her, and then when episode 7 rolls around and she's breaking the fourth wall a lot more, which also was perfect because of the type of episodes they were doing. Like,
yeah, dude,
God, I love the writing of this show.
I love that the I don't bite, and then they cut to her and she's like, I actually did bite a kid once.
Yeah, well, because what I love is every plot point that they're trying to make, or like anything that they're trying to like convey to the audience, they do in the style of the sitcom they're parroting. So it's like, okay, she's breaking the fourth wall more and giving us more character than she has before, and she's able to because of the style of sitcom she's in. Yeah, it was just, I love it. And so dude, good. Like, it stays in the worlds that they're making per episode, and it's great. Yes.
And dude, I love all of the plays on the theme song where like the I'm trying to think of the notes, but like there's 3 notes that remain.
Yeah, it sounds like The Office. Like, as soon as I saw it.
Well, no, but I'm saying, God damn it, hold on.
Okay,
my headphones got caught. And it's awesome, but this episode specifically, the theme song like was a perfect play on the Office theme.
Yeah, it was perfect because it was perfect. The episode prior, it was almost perfect play on that "We Might Be Giants" song from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes,
and
awesome.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes have been swell. Like, they've been so good.
I loved this episode. Yeah. I've found it really hard to go back and rewatch episodes of the show, because like there's parts that I've loved of every episode, but there's also parts that I'm like, oh my God, let's just get through it. Come on.
Yeah.
Of some of them, but this one I like immediately rewatched it, and then I rewatched it again later in the day. I was like so excited to watch this episode.
Yeah, because there's so many like little things in it.
Yeah. I loved it.
I thought it was hilarious watching Vision like succumb to the format of the episode, where he's like sitting there talking, and he's like, yeah, I just think Wanda's setting all this stuff up just to slow me down, and then it like shoots to him later, and he's just kind of like, this is ridiculous, why am I talking to you, why am I doing any of this, and he just flies away. Why is he participating? Yeah,
I'm gonna go see my wife.
He's just participating for the sake of being a part of the world, and it's like he just realizes like, I don't have to fucking do this. Like, he hasn't had to participate in the show for the last 2 episodes. He's just like going along with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also glad
I loved it.
My theory of the reason that the military guy had such an investment in it was that he did want to weaponize
you were
Vision
right.
again. Because I was like, that's got to be the only reason. Because they wanted to weaponize him prior.
Yeah,
because it didn't make sense for him to be in a shield holding facility as a corpse. Like I said, an Avenger, or sword.
It was sword, my guy. It was not shield.
Sorry, sword, shield, knife, spoon, whatever. They're all different things.
What if there was like actually a Marvel organization called Spoon?
It would have to be when they crossed universes with the Tick. That's the only way that could work appropriately. The Tick is the leader of Spoon. It's just him bothering Arthur all the time. It'd be perfect. I fucking love The Tick. But
isn't there like an Amazon Prime show?
Tick? I don't like it as I like the animated Tick a lot more. Like I started watching.
I've never seen anything.
So the animated show I watched all the time when I was a kid. It was just perfect for 10-year-old me. Fucking perfect.
So long ago.
Yeah, so 24 years ago. Jesus. Anyway, but it's a great show. Like if you can go back and find episodes of the Fox Kids animated series, watch that first before you watch anything else. The live action one they did on Fox was okay, wasn't great. And then this newest one, like I watched a couple episodes and I was like, all right, I get it. And then people were like, you have to kind of like watch through season 1 because season 2 is better. And I'm like, I don't like wasting my time with a show if someone's like, well, eventually it gets good. It's like, okay, well, I could just watch it. I could watch something that is good right off the break. And I'll come back to that later. Like, there's so much in my backlog. I can't waste time working up to when a show gets good. I just rather, not watch it and watch something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I understand that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I was with Parks and Rec. Like, people are like watch season 1, but it doesn't get good till season 2. I completely skipped season 1. I was like, fuck that.
That show has never, ever made me laugh.
Really?
Not once.
So, when I first started watching it, I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. This is different. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Mind you, I wasn't a fan of The Office at the time either.
I've never really gotten the appeal of that show either.
I like the mockumentary style never made sense to me. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not true because This Is Spinal Tap, my favorite movie.
Yeah.
The Office The Office specifically was never funny to me for years. It's one of my favorite shows now. I got into it and eventually it grew on me. Mm-hmm. But I got into Parks first, and at first I was like, "This is so funny. This is a great show." And like, as the landscape of like politics here has like just devolved into like identity politics. The more I've realized that the show Parks and Rec is just pandering to make people like appreciate the government.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, it's like it's a
because they manage a pool
job. It's park. Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, they manage the pool, but they also manage the parks.
Oh, okay.
And I'd say probably the Parks and Rec department's the only part of the government that actually works.
Yeah, they keep people out of there after 7.
They work. They're doing their job. They keep us. No, but like
they keep us from stumbling over something because there's no natural light anymore.
Like the last 2 seasons, like Leslie, Amy Poehler, is like working in DC, and like there's cameos from all of these politicians.
Oh, weird.
Like, and like it's just like it's like it's humanizing them, and it's like, yeah, they're humans, but they're also evil people. Like, I don't want to laugh and be like, oh, Joe Biden's so quirky. Oh, John McCain's so quirky. John McCain is burning in hell. Fuck John McCain.
More than likely, yeah.
Come on, God.
Yeah, I don't understand the pandering part of that, but I've never made it through like a couple episodes.
I can't watch the show anymore. I loved it for so long, and now that's all I see and all I notice.
Oh, damn.
And so now I'm like, oh, fuck off. I can't watch it anymore.
Damn. Yeah, the only show like that, like, I can't really think of a show, like, I'll go back and watch Seinfeld sometimes, and then I'll kind of be like, woo, this episode is, like, did not age well. Like, there's episodes of Seinfeld that, like, do not age well, and you kind of find out that there's, like, a lot of kind of, like, racist, sexist, and xenophobic humor, like, thrown all through that show. So it's like, this is rough. And then you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's, like, all there, too, but it also is, like, attacked more for it being in the shows. I don't know. I feel like Curb is, like, way better than Seinfeld ever was. Because they had, no leash on them.
Yeah, so I don't like Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. I have watched several episodes trying to get into it.
Yeah.
Never worked. I've never thought any of the people on it were funny.
Yeah,
I literally do not like Jerry Seinfeld is like a revered and like praised comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fucking funny.
I think
he is not fucking funny.
He is a relic of a comedy style. Like, I think that observational humor is funny to an extent.
Yeah,
it works more in a stand-up field.
Yeah,
and there are so many like meta jokes in the show that are actually funny and relatable to real world situations. But I know there's two camps of 90s sitcoms. There's the people that are in the Friends camp and people that are in the Seinfeld camp.
Yeah.
I cannot take Friends seriously at all. I have never enjoyed it, and it's just like, you can watch a show and predict every joke that's about to be made. Like, I would say every 30 seconds, you can be like, okay, well, formulaically, they're going to come to a joke at this point. Or,
yeah,
here's where the laugh track's coming in. That's kind of what I don't like about The Office either. It's their comedy, and a lot of those style of shows, their punchlines are predictable. Like, you can see it coming a mile away, and it's like...
So, one, you're wrong about The Office, because there's hidden things in episodes that you don't notice the first watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a scene where Michael knocks somebody... They're at the hospital. Michael knocks somebody's IV out.
Yeah.
And I've seen this show 13 times through. I'm not kidding. Like, I became a fan... Well, okay, so there's a couple of caveats, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to finish the story about the episode.
Yeah, go ahead.
So remember, I've seen this 13 times through. So so Michael knocks an IV out, and like he's like trying to put it back together, and he's like, "Oh, this is disgusting." And a nurse comes in and goes, "Don't touch that," and then fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
On my 14th go through this series, I noticed that when the nurse fixes the IV, Kevin in the background is like, he just starts clapping for the nurse fixing the IV. And it's like, I made it through this fucking show 13 times. I never noticed it. The 14th time, I'm fucking dying laughing because he's giving the nurse applause for doing her job.
That's weird.
So, dude, like, because there's so many characters, you notice different things every time you watch the show. So, like, it's really like a master course in like writing comedy. The show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I understand why people don't like it, and like I'm not gonna knock you for not liking it, but it's like there's stuff in there that you're just like, oh fuck.
It's more of the format. Like, I'm not a fan of that format of show. There's only two shows that I like that are in that format, and it's Modern Family, because they don't really rely on the documentary part of it as much in later seasons. And that live action Muppets show that was based off of like Miss Piggy having a late night show. That that they did that perfectly. Like, I love that they tried to modernize. Canceled? It did, because people were like, I don't know what the Muppets are. This is stupid. It's just trying to be The Office. And I'm like, yeah, the Muppets are a variety parody troupe. That's what they do. Like, you should be enjoying this. Like, I loved that show. Like,
I meant to watch it and then I didn't.
Oh,
so I'm part of the problem. I'm sorry.
So goddamn funny. Like, there were just
maybe if I watched it, it wouldn't have gotten canceled. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, maybe it's fine. I mean, I have such a soft spot for the Muppets, and I fucking love the Muppets. So I'm angry.
Dude, great.
I'm angry every time that they're like, "Here's a new Muppet show," and I'm like, "Let's go!" And then they're like, "Nah, we're gonna put it back."
The movie that Jason Segel wrote.
Perfect.
The one that came out. It was so good. It was perfect. Incredible.
Perfect.
And it was like, you know, well reviewed and everything. So it's not like I'm arguing for something that was like panned. But
yeah,
another going back to my caveat about The Office. I have this like running theory. The more depressed you are, the more you cling on to The Office. So like I have a bunch of friends that like rewatch The Office like all the time.
Yeah.
And my theory is the more depressed you are, the more you cling on to this show that you know will make you feel good. So I rewatched that show a lot when I was at my most depressed. So it's like it's a running theory. Like I think that people.
So do you think that's because I do that with shows that I watched when I was younger. Like, so when I'm really bummed out, I'll watch a show from when I was a kid and binge watch it. Like, when I'm at my low point, I watch every episode of My Name is Earl, because that show's fucking perfect, and it's a crime it got canceled too. But nothing.
Didn't it run for a long time though?
It only ran for like 5 or 6 seasons, but it ended on a cliffhanger, which is what makes me so angry.
Oh, that's nice.
But the writing on that show is fucking great. Like, I've belly laughed so much watching that show.
The trailer park that the show is like based in, Pemmon Hills, is based on a neighborhood that's like right next to Tommy's house.
Oh yeah. There's hints that it's based in Virginia.
Yes, because Jason Lee's from this area.
Yep.
Which is cool as shit. I love Jason Lee.
He's so that's funny as fuck.
He's from here. Fucking Mark Hamill is from around here.
Yep.
And
Jim Henson's from my old neck of the woods.
Jim Henson's from around here, and fucking Dave Grohl grew up in Annandale. Yep. Which is like right there.
So cool. But
going back.
Well, what I was gonna say real quick is I feel like with the more people watch The Office and get it more when they're bummed out. I wonder if that's more because it's like it's a show that's so like commonly respected in our age group, so anyone who's bummed out can watch it and have something to talk about with someone else. Because there are funnier shows, but it's like, hey, I know everyone likes The Office. I'm sad. I want to watch this so I can talk to people about it. Like, I'm not trying to devalue it in any way, but I'm like,
I don't really know if that's a fair assessment, because the show is funny as hell. Like,
so you say.
Jeremy like has gone on record. He hates the show, but there are things that he thinks are fucking hilarious about it. So
I have a weird sense of humor. Like, The Simpsons can still make me laugh to this day, even though it's not funny. Modern episodes of The Simpsons.
So going back to what we were talking about with Seinfeld and Friends. There was a camp that I was in for a long time. And so I own this.
So this podcast is over. We're done.
Can I make an argument for my soul?
There's no I don't like the show. Argument you can make for owning. Why do you own Friends at all? Like, why do you have it?
We're gonna go ahead and go back to my teen years. I used to have several DVD packs of the show. Mm-hmm. I had no friends, so the friends were my friends. I would watch that show all the time because I had nobody to hang out with.
See, I did that with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See, that's a better show to do that with. But I had to work with the tools I was given. I was given Friends seasons and Will and Grace season 1.
Oh man, if those are your tools, you were given a power drill without a fucking battery.
Yes, I was. And that's the place I grew up in. So there you go.
Most of the people I talk to about Friends say that they only watch it because they watched it when they were younger because there was nothing else to watch.
Yeah. And I tried to watch Seinfeld when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I tried to get out of the Friends camp. And I never thought Seinfeld was funny.
See,
I thought parts of Friends were funny, and then as I've gotten older, anytime I go back and like a show, like an episode's on TV, and I like try to sit through it, I don't think any of it's funny anymore.
So a show that like my parents watched Frasier a lot when I was younger, and I didn't get it, but now as an adult, I love Frasier so much.
Dude, Frasier is a fucking perfect show.
I binge watched the entire series a few years ago when it popped up on Hulu. I literally watched every single fucking episode all the way through, and I'm like, why did I hate this show? It's so stupid. It's slapstick, but so smart at being slapstick.
It is. It's so good. It's like, I can't describe how good Frasier is.
No, it's one of the best 90s sitcoms, period.
That's one of those shows that me and my sister used to watch together all the time. So I have very fond memories of watching Frasier.
Oh yeah. It's on the Mount Rushmore of 90s sitcoms.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I've gotten older, I've realized that Friends literally just ripped off Living Single.
Yep.
And,
which is a much funnier show.
it's a way better show.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to sell this DVD pack because like I bought it, and then like a year after I bought it was when I started to fall off the Friends boat.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God, I spent this much money on this thing, and now I don't even fucking watch the show anymore.
So your friendship was in peril.
Exactly. Anyway, should we go back to WandaVision?
I think we covered most of what we wanted to talk about in WandaVision. I think we hit all the nails on the head.
Did we mention how much I loved the fact that there was a post-credit scene?
Yeah, I almost missed it.
I did too.
Yeah.
The credits rolling, and I picked my phone up and was playing on it, and then like all of a sudden it came back, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And I put my phone down, and it was just like, "Whoa!"
Because remember when we were talking about how like whenever the show ends, it's like 7 minutes left of credits, and we're like, okay, and then you just tune out, and then this time it's like, no, it's Photon and Petro popping up together and going like, shit, what are we gonna do? It's like
JK.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Great.
All right, now I have to pay attention to all the episodes now at the end. But no, I know. I'm excited. I'm so pumped to see how this goes for the next 2 episodes.
And I think the next 2 I think at least the last episode is going to be an hour long.
I would assume.
I'm hoping the last 2 are an hour long because there was a rumor on Instagram that the last three were going to be an hour long, and then like it was like this one was the same, like 38 minutes, and it's like fuck.
You don't really hang out in the Nintendo community as much as I do, but people literally like the Marvel Cinematic rumor mill is about as bad as the Nintendo rumor mill, where it's like one nerd will say something, throw it out into space, and then every nerd goes, you know what? He's right. And then when it's not true, because it's a rumor, everyone's like, the fuck? I've been had. And it's like, yes, you've been had, because some fucking dude named like Party Monster 69 on Reddit was like, hey man, I think Mephisto is the villain because that wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man looks kind of red in one episode, so clearly it's him.
Okay, so I would like to talk about that. Going off of that, so this episode did not clarify whether Agatha is working alone or not, and Mephisto is the reason Scarlet Witch had kids in the comics, so he's still in play. There's still potential for him to be in play.
There could be, but I feel like they're trying to skirt away from that in this Marvel universe.
Maybe. But he is a big bad that would work.
Because wait, in what Marvel universe did because I know like Wanda and Vision are their parents in the comic books.
Yes.
So is there an alternate one where they don't smash?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's made of vibranium. I have no idea. But so like I feel like Mephisto would make sense to be a big bad. Mm-hmm. Because like the rest of the big bads that are left in the Marvel camp
are Galactus
Galactus, Doctor Doom, and then the rest are like X-Men villains. So it's like so like Mephisto would be a good villain to use having to introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four, which we are getting soon. But like for now is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I saw a Instagram rumor that Henry Pym was supposed to be, or not Henry Pym, sorry. What's his name? Hank McCoy was supposed to be introduced in an episode coming up or something like that of WandaVision. And I'm like, no, I don't see that happening either.
Well, what if they just introduce him as a scientist, and then like when Wanda creates the event that makes mutants, that's when he becomes Beast. That'd be cool.
Okay, so does she need to be involved in whatever story Marvel is going to try to tell in the next 10 years of like a House of M storyline? Because I doubt they're going to do a House of M storyline. Like,
well, House of M was the ending of the mutants.
Yeah.
You know, like So like,
well, I don't see them doing a House of M. I mean, if they do, because I remember the whole reason the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, started in the first place was the what was it? The popularity of the Civil War comic book line that came out.
Right.
And they were like, okay, we want to make this into a movie at some time, because that series saved Marvel. Back in the day, because they were just like the late 90s and early 2000s of Marvel was just trash. Nothing but dookie everywhere. But that series came along because it was something that was kind of set in real time, some shit that was like relevant, some shit that like you could theoretically see happening in the real world, which is something that Marvel kind of like didn't really cater to, I guess. Right. Like there's no realism to an extent, obviously, but they I remember like at one of the Comic-Cons they were talking about how popular it was, and they wanted to make a movie adaptation at some point. And they were like, well, in order to do that, we need to make movies where we introduce characters and make it make sense. So that was kind of like the whole jumping off point. Like, of course, that could be just one person's opinion of why they wanted to do this big cinematic universe. But at the time they were talking about it, like, I can't remember the writers for the Civil War comics. It'll come to me.
Mark Millar wrote Civil War.
There you go. Okay. But yeah, he was talking. It was him talking on a panel, I think, and they were saying that like they really wanted to do a movie adaptation. And I'm glad they fucking did, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been like some of the best action movies that have come out in like my lifetime.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I think I don't want to get shit for saying this. I think that like Infinity War and Endgame are more like, you know, I hate to give Martin Scorsese credit, but like they're just like visual effect, like, you know, movies. Mm-hmm. But like if you go and watch Captain America, the First Avenger, The Winter Soldier, Civil War, those are fucking movies.
Yeah, they are.
Like those movies are like fucking incredible. Like,
well, I think finally what they did was they found a way to make comic book movies good movies, as opposed to just like a good comic book movie.
I don't want anybody thinking that I don't think that Endgame is a good movie. It's a genuinely good movie, but like there are so many visual effects that it kind of distracts from filmmaking. I saw some it was like a news article about like the tools they use to make the visual effects, and like originally it was like you create a digital like mock-up of how the movie's gonna, like how like certain visual effects are gonna be made. Yeah. And like in the earlier movies, like 20 shots would be done, whereas for Endgame it was the entire movie they did the digital rendering of it, and it's like, so like I kind of see where like the criticisms of like, you know, they're just like spectacles come from. I mean, it's while also appreciating them as movies, because they are great movies.
To be fair, like, the spectacle, like it's the end of the war supposedly, so that is the spectacle. Right. So yeah, those are like, you know, they're the breakdown. You know, that's the crescendo. It's like your whole thing is leading up to this. Like
22 movies were leading to Endgame, so it makes complete and total sense. I mean, it was beautiful. Yeah, and I was there opening night. I was fucking screaming my head off.
See, I stopped doing opening nights for Marvel movies. I don't want to be around that much energy. I want to see it at like 1 PM in an empty theater. That's the way I want to experience Marvel movies.
See, I'm so impatient. I want to see them opening night. Like, yeah. I saw Captain Marvel opening night. I had a great time. That's a good movie. Like, yeah, it's a little uneven front to back, but like after like 4 rewatches, it's really a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, Avengers: Age of Ultron is the one. No, sorry, not Avengers: Age of Ultron. The first Avengers was the last one I saw opening night. I was just so aggravated. Like, I was trying to watch the movie, and people were just like, dressed up in costumes and yelling and fucking just...
Yes!
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this isn't a Comic-Con panel. I paid money to see a fucking movie. Shut the fuck up. Like,
and I will counter that and tell you that you're a grandpa because I too love to go see movies, but I'm also there to have a fucking good time.
I am not. I want to see the movie. Like, I want to see the movie. I'm not here for all the extra shit. You know, like I'm sitting down. Like, yes, I love that there's community-based interest in something, and that people can like come together and enjoy something while being socially regressive at the same time.
I've seen all of them opening night, and the only ones that had crowds like that were Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh,
like,
really?
I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp opening night. I saw Captain Marvel opening night. What else did I see opening?
I saw all of them. I saw all of them opening night up to Avengers. Avengers was just like, I can't do this anymore because it happened during Iron Man. It happened during Iron Man 2. It happened during
I didn't see Iron Man 2 opening. Iron Man 2 was the only one in Phase 1 that I saw in theaters because like I didn't care yet.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I think Age of Ultron that I was like, oh shit, I need to watch all of these movies.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited for all of them because like I was robbed of a good X-Men series. Most of the comic book movies I saw as a kid were all trash. They never did adaptations correctly back then, and then for them to be like, oh, this movie is like actually trying to cater to people that enjoy the source material as opposed to the average moviegoer, where the Marvel Universe is basically smartened up the average moviegoer into like, oh, I know I'm going to get a quality movie out of this production studio, so even if I don't know who the fucking characters are, I'm just going to go see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love what they did for the movie industry. Like, I think that they kind of... I'm trying to think of how to word this. They put a bit of like a stigma on writing and production where it's like, if you're making a movie based off of another IP, you don't have an excuse to make it shitty unless you just don't care. Like, there's like, when you see that this is what they can do, this is what you can make as far as a movie goes, why are you just gonna peddle out shit? Like, you don't have an excuse to. You just don't care about the product. You don't care about what you do. It's like,
so
I think that's why Dark Phoenix did so bad, because nobody fucking cared making that movie.
Well, so they did care. Bryan Singer's just bad at making movies. Yep. They so like halfway through they're like we're gonna make this a good movie, and then halfway through Disney bought out Fox.
Yeah.
So then by the end of like the production, they were like, who cares? Just put it out.
Well, like, so like
and
this.
I gotta say, Dark Phoenix was better than Apocalypse.
I'm trying to work up the will to watch Apocalypse since I just watched First Class.
You were talking about that last week. You were saying you were going to watch it.
Yeah, I bailed. I bailed. I haven't watched it yet.
We both bailed on watching Soul. I've been too busy watching other shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole of watching Robotech and some other shit.
It's fine, man. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, no, like I watched that and I got a. This is actually one of the movies I wrote down that I wanted to talk about because it's fucking so dumb. So, I was going through Crackle because that's where I found out Robotech was, and I could watch it for free.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can watch Robotech on there. Which, I don't know, have you ever seen Robotech? But it's a...
I have not.
It's a clusterfuck of an early 80s, or mid-80s anime. Basically, some U.S. movie company bought the licenses for 3 different animes that all happen to do with space and robots. And he basically was like, make these 3 separate shows, one series. So it's a clusterfuck of a show. But
sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. So it's good up until like episode 21, where it's supposed to end, and then everything after is just kind of dog shit. But
okay.
So I'm rewatching all those because I haven't seen those in like over 20 years. But I was going through all the movies on there, and there is like a ridiculous amount of like goofy action movies. There's like a ton of old Van Damme movies, a ton of old Dolph Lundgren movies. Like,
is The Punisher on there?
Not that one. No. That one's not on there. But fucking Raw Deal is on there, which is like a Schwarzenegger movie nobody talks about, but it's just a fucking wild one.
Some merch company made a Raw Deal shirt recently.
Fuck yeah!
And I thought that was interesting. Dope. I'd never even heard of Raw Deal.
It's one of his like. It's one of his movies. Like I pride myself on my collection of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Because I just really enjoy goofball action movies.
Of course.
But like, Crackle has so many. It's kind of offensive how many movies are on there that are just like goofball movies. Also, there's a ton of like old blaxploitation movies like Dolomite and shit like that. And there's this great movie trilogy they have on there. It's not the trilogy because they don't have all three movies, but Penitentiary 1 and 2 are just ludicrous old school blaxploitation movies that are really fucking good. I want to sit down and watch both of those back to back because I haven't seen those in a long time either. But when I was going through there, I saw that they had a Tom Arnold stand up.
Oh God!
And Tom Arnold is not funny, but I remembered I was watching it and I was like, yo, there was this movie that I used to rent from Blockbuster all the time that Tom Arnold was in, and it was like this stupid fucking movie. So I found it and rewatched it 2 days ago.
What movie is it?
So it's The Stupids. Have you ever seen this?
I've never heard of it.
Oh my fucking God. So, The Stupids was based off of a comic strip. And it came out like mid-90s. Do you have like your computer loaded up right now? Because you should totally look up the trailer for this.
I just looked up it, and this looks stupid.
Dude, so they're basically like a family from the 1950s that are just oblivious to the world, and they live in the 1990s. Yeah, it is so dumb. The plot is they just exist, and then somehow get roped into some crazy ass like CIA fucking cover up for something, and they end up fighting there's some goofy shit that goes on, but it is a ridiculous hour and a half of Tom Arnold walking around looking like a used car salesman from 1954.
That's exactly what he looked like. I was just
it's so ridiculous. It is such a ridiculous movie. And like, I was talking to my boss about it the other day I don't remember how it came up, but I started talking about there's a song in the movie where he's on like a Ricky Lake style kind of show, which is also dating me. So I
was not gonna like that. I make old jokes about.
I know.
But I wasn't gonna touch that one.
I dove in head first. But there's a scene on there where they're like, oh, so what's so like, because he didn't mean to show up on this show. He just kind of like walked down the wrong hallway and they sat him in a chair. And they're like, well, what's something interesting about what you do? And he's like, oh, well, I'm my own grandpa. And people are like, what? And he goes into like this hoedown song that's like a 5-minute segment of him singing about lineage-wise how he's his own grandfather.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's so stupid. Like,
that does not sound fun.
No, man. Dumb. It is so like, it's one of those 90s movies like Blank Check or Dunstan Checks In, or like just it's just a stupid fucking movie.
I love Dunstan. Dunstan Checks In is like a really well written movie. It's so It's so fucking funny.
It's so dumb, but great. Like
it is. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck, but it is so well written that it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I've gone back and watched it. It's held up, man.
Yeah, I have.
That's a good one.
I have an obsession of wanting to find every like cornball 90s like family movie, because all the 90s family movies are like these ridiculous premises that are like not cohesive for anything that anyone should ever want to put out in a movie theater.
Like, hell no.
Like
it's like
Baby's Day Out, like
yeah.
Fucking ridiculous movie. Ridiculous premise. Yeah. They're like, all right, we're gonna watch this baby elude criminals for an hour and a half. I don't know, but I love it. I loved it.
You think about movies that got made in the 80s and 90s, and you're like, how did that? Like, how? Like,
yeah,
because especially with like how hard it is to make a movie nowadays.
Yeah,
like because like studios are so afraid of losing money. It was like back then they didn't care.
They did not give a shit.
They didn't give a fuck, dude. No. They just made whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and they would find like, and when you go back and look at them, they don't have actors in it that would like pull like a movie crowd. Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Nobody is breaking the doors down to see Rick Moranis in a movie. No offense to Rick Moranis.
Nowadays they would, because
they would now because of the lore of Rick Moranis.
He's been retired from acting for so long.
Yeah,
that if he would agree to sign back up for Spaceballs 2, Mel Brooks would make it. He has
in a heartbeat.
He's been like, he has said, he's gone on record to say it would happen if Rick would be down for it.
Well, here's the thing though. I feel that the legend of Rick Moranis at this point is more important than the actual movie criteria, or the movie like history of Rick Moranis, because like Spaceballs is good and all, but Rick Moranis isn't really the main of that.
That's bullshit. That movie is good because of Rick Moranis. He is fucking credible as Dark Helmet.
Maybe. It's been a long time since I've seen
him playing the straight, like him playing the like he's us in that, like, you know, like he's like, what the fuck is going, like
the whole surrounded by assholes bit is great.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. That
how many assholes do we have on this shit?
Okay.
Yo.
Well, all right, Spaceballs might be a bad example, but like him in Ghostbusters, he's kind of forgettable.
Yes, 100. I will give you that.
Yeah,
like
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, he's just kind of there, you know.
I'll tell you where he shines. The straight to VHS movie, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That is I think
because that's the only time he's ever been in the movie for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that was the third or fourth one.
Because there's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and then I think it's Honey, I Shrunk Ourselves. Or is there four?
Okay, so I don't know. So
to the Google machine.
Yeah, you take care of that.
Yeah,
Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Like, my parents bought us that VHS, and I watched it all the time. That movie's fucking hilarious.
I had this weird, like, when I was younger, I thought that, like, because a movie didn't come out in theaters meant it was automatically bad. Like, that was the thing I thought as a kid. Like,
well, I mean, I think society told us that.
I think so, too.
But it's like, no, it's not true.
No, because, like, I really enjoy the second Aladdin movie, even though it didn't... Wait.
Yo, me too!
Because Return of Jafar didn't... Did that come out in theaters?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Aladdin 3 was fun, too. There's a third one.
All the Aladdin movies are fun. Now, the straight-to VHS versions of the Home Alone movies are garbage. Like, Home Alone 3 is terrible.
I'm going to go... It's great.
Look,
you are fucking wrong.
I like French Stewart as much as 4 other people, but
He's not in the third one.
Yeah, he is.
He's not in the third one.
French Stewart is totally in the third one.
He is in the fourth one.
He's in the fourth one.
No. Google it right fucking now.
Hold on.
Google it right fucking now. You are wrong.
Home Alone 3. If my brain is putting both of these together... That is horseshit. Why does everyone look like fucking Alice Cooper on the box art? Like, dude, hold on. Like, look at that. Like, everybody.
I know, dude.
Hold on. Focus.
I know.
Everybody looks like Alice Cooper.
It's because of the hell that the kid puts them through. That movie is fucking hilarious, dude.
No, not at all.
Society has told everyone that it is a bad movie, but it is great. Scarlett Johansson's in it, man. It's one of her first roles.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House, is the one with French Stewart in it.
And
I don't know why my brain put both of those movies together.
French Stewart and then the other guy, they're like literally playing Harry and Marv from the first two movies, but they're just different actors.
Okay, so I think there is only 3 Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies. Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, 1989, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, 1992, and Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, 1997. That's when it jumped the shark.
I love Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That movie's fun. Anyway, Rick Moranis stole the show in Spaceballs. Rick Moranis stole the show in Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I always forget about Little Shop of Horrors until I see it. That's a movie that I've seen a fuckload of times, but it's just saying it's forgettable sounds cruel, but I just don't think about it until someone says something about it. Although I did finally watch the 60s one or 50s one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was randomly on Comet when I was home from work, and I was like, "Oh, Little Shop of Horrors. I haven't watched that in a while," and I put it on to think it was the Rick Moranis one.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this Jerry Lewis looking motherfucker?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the old one."
Okay, so I you know what? I think I spoke incorrectly.
Okay.
Moranis doesn't steal the show in Little Shop of Horrors. Steve Martin steals the show.
Yeah, when he's the fucking crazy ass dentist.
He's the dentist.
Yeah, no, he's
he's incredible in that movie.
I love dude.
I mean, Rick Moranis is great in it too, but I misspoke. Yeah. Steve Martin steals the show.
I have a huge soft spot for Steve Martin because my dad was a big Steve Martin fan, so I've seen so many Steve Martin movies, like Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Father of the Bride 1 and 2. I'm sure there's better. There's better movies. Oh, The Jerk's great. The Jerk's fucking great. Yeah, no, I fuck with him heavy. All of his guest spots on the Muppet Show also were really good. Bring that back around.
Incredible.
Oh, what is it? I finally finished the Roanoke season of fucking American Horror Story.
I have never sat through a full season of that show.
Yeah, so I don't blame you because alright, so Beth watches it. She's watched every season leading up to where we're at now because we were kind of watching them together. The only season I watched straight through when it aired originally was the hotel season. And that's because Lady Gaga was in that season.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Right.
And I watched one episode and I was like, this reminds me of Suspiria. This is really cool. And I got kind of obsessed with it more for the music selection that was happening in the show. Cause we were talking about that in the last episode where it's music to scene selection is a really cool, nerdy thing to nerd out about, being as how we enjoy movies and music. But yeah, that's the only one that I watched all the way through, and I kind of bailed on it because the story kind of went in a weird direction, and I was like, all right, I'm not really vibing with it.
Yeah.
But so she's been watching it over on Netflix recently, and we got to a season where she said, oh yeah, the next season I'm watching is I guess a ghost story season. It's called Roanoke. And I was like, oh, Virginia? And she's like, oh, I don't know. So I only sat down and started watching it because I thought it was based in Roanoke, Virginia. It's not. But
it was.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But because they don't really specify where. But that season by itself is really interesting because they kind of they concept jump a lot. So it starts off as them airing, or sorry, it's starting off as like a TV series within a TV series.
Okay.
And then they kind of like keep doing that through the through the season. So it's like have you ever watched one of those shows where it's like a true crime show where they like reenact scenes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's like the first like 6 episodes. Then that turns into, oh, the show within the show was super popular, so we're going to send all the actors and the people that lived through this horrible thing back there and then do like a live action like reality TV show of all of them staying for the weekend in this haunted house. So then it's like one of those kind of shows. Then it goes.
So I looked it up. It's Roanoke, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. There we go. So,
no.
But then so then it jumps from that kind of show to that kind of show to then like it follows like YouTube streamers who are going there, and like it's weird because it takes each of these styles of television show that in its core is exploitive as fuck, and then kind of like takes the piss out of them, but then also is like, this is a really good storytelling tool. Like, I've nerded out about it more because of the WandaVision way of telling a story, and this season of American Horror Story uses TV as a means to tell its story, and I think it's really fucking cool the way they get to where they're at. But it's a stretch come the last like 2-3 episodes of like following the storyline. But me and Beth have been sitting on the season finale for like 2 months now because we just haven't had time to sit down and watch it. And we watched it after WandaVision, so we were like, okay, this is cool. But then the next season starts. It's called Cult, and it's stupid so far. So far, it's so dumb because it takes place.
Is it called CLT or is it called KVLT? It's
not that cool. Actually, neither are cool. The Cavult or the Cult. Neither is the. I know I'm saying that with that hanging up behind me, but you know. Anyway, yeah. No mayhem. But there's the season revolves around the 2016 presidential election, and people having either incredible emotional distress that makes them hallucinate, and people who are like, we're trying to figure out how to use fear as a currency. And
like Monsters Inc.
Like Monsters Inc. Yeah, exactly. So it's like Monsters Inc. But it's also weird because Evan Peters is the main character for this season. So I'm like, all right, he's like an interesting character. So I'm watching it just because of him. But we got through the first episode, and I was like, the Cult are a bunch of clowns, and clown horror doesn't do anything for me. I can't take clown horror seriously. Like, when someone's like, I understand people have a legitimate fear of clowns, and I sympathize with that, but when a clown is used in a setting of horror, it does not startle me at all. It just looks stupid.
So is that your take on? Is that your take on It 1 and 2? It wasn't scary?
No. The only time in It 1, I still haven't seen It 2, but the only part in It, like the Tim Curry one, didn't do a thing to me.
Well, no,
but
I mean, he was great in the role, but
yeah. But the modern ones, the only time I felt any sort of tension was when I thought that one kid was going to get killed by getting that air cannon blasted in his head. That was the only time that I felt any kind of tension, because I was like, oh shit, no, they're gonna kill that fucking kid, because the gloves were off, obviously, at the beginning when Georgie gets killed, and you're like,
right.
Oh, they just showed a child get killed on screen. Right. Gloves are off. So, like, I'm watching the whole movie thinking, all right, gloves are off. They can do whatever the fuck they want to. And I was like,
right.
Nope, not really. They kind of don't do much. I don't know. I don't really like It in general. Stephen King's good at stuff, I guess, but I'm not really a fan of It. I just don't like clowns as like a means of horror because they don't scare me.
So I saw. Sorry, I got really close to my mic right there.
That's fine.
I saw It 1 and It 2 in theaters, and I was terrified the entire time.
Really?
Yeah, both movies scared the shit out of me.
Soft.
But I was also like, I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that from it. Like the last horror movie, like The Witch was the last horror movie I saw in theaters that I was like, this is really good. Like, obviously it didn't scare me.
That's a great movie.
But
that's a great movie.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking brilliant movie.
Did you see Hereditary?
I haven't seen Hereditary. I'm really like I have been desensitized to being affected by horror movies because of playing horror video games. Like, being involved in what's going on frightens me way more than being a passive viewer. Because you can formulaically you can kind of sense when a jump scare is coming in a movie.
Yeah, definitely. So me and Germ have seen countless horror movies together. I'm always scared. I'm always freaked out. Yeah, I'm always scared. It doesn't matter what's going to scare me. It doesn't matter. Like, I will freak out. I will jump. I get scared very easily when I'm watching movies, and like I have fun while watching them. Jeremy, I've never seen react to a horror movie before. Ever. Like, I've never seen him like, or like, what the fuck? Never.
We're both dead
never
inside.
once.
That's probably why.
That's probably it. But so I waited till Ashley was out of town because Ashley does not do horror movies.
Yeah, Beth, I have put her through some shit just to see if she would react to it.
I told you last week I watched House of a Thousand Corpses with Ashley, and she was like, "I don't like this movie. What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
So I waited till she was out of town. So me and Germ, I had bought Hereditary on Blu-ray. Me and Germ sit down, we're watching it, and like the last 20 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? But I also hear Jeremy go, what the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that movie caused a reaction from Jeremy, and I've never seen that before.
All right, I might have to watch it then. If it made his heart of stone actually shift.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Well, because
not to be cliche, because everybody talks about how great it is. It really is a great movie.
Well, like I like watching horror movies for like over the top goofiness. Like,
oh yeah, like dude, 80s movies don't scare me. Like,
no, they're just fun. Like I love
so fun.
Like fun horror is what I enjoy.
Yeah,
like when like I think the gore porn like genre of like the like mid 2000s kind of like turned me off of horror movies in theaters for a little 100%. Bit because like
it's just gross.
Like Saw and Hostel was like, these aren't horror movies that like, I guess they're horrific for people that are like, didn't grow up with Rotten.com, but I was like, oh, like that's really fucking gross. But I was like,
it's just
but then I get taken out of it because I'm like, oh, the practical effects are really cool. Like
So, like, I saw Hostel 2, and it made me really... I was young, too. So, like, I saw it, like, when it came out, and, like, what year did that come out? Let me look that up.
Hostel 2 had to be, like, 2007 or 8.
2007, you're right.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that young. I was about 15, but, like, I was not into horror movies at all back then. Like,
no.
One of my friends made me watch Gothica, and that movie scared the shit out of me. So like,
that's such a boring movie to introduce someone into horror.
I haven't seen it since that time, but it scared me.
Oh.
But so another person had Hostel 2 on, and I was like, this is just gross. I don't like this.
Yeah, I like the first horror movie that I have a good memory of watching was the first Child's Play when I was like 7 or 8.
Child's Play is fun.
Yeah, and then like 4 years later, when I was like, I think I was like 12, I saw Clockwork Orange for the first time, and
I still need to see that. I've never seen it.
Totally desensitized me after that. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I watched a lot of shit I shouldn't have watched at the age I was at, but early ages of the internet and tape trading, I got into that really early for some reason. Like, I was obsessed with like tape trading when I was a kid.
Makes sense.
Fucking.
Yeah, Paul. So like, first horror movie I ever sat through and watched the whole thing was Urban Legends. Oh. It's like a slasher. It's a slasher movie from like the late 90s or whatever. I was 8 years old. and I had a TV in my room. I was a spoiled kid, Judge me all you want. I had cable.
I had one too because of how much I played video games. It was the only way that like my parents knew that they could watch TV.
Right. So
I had to share it with my brothers and sisters though.
Well, that makes sense. But so I had my own. Like my sister had one in her room. I had one in my room. And like one late night, I'm like flipping through the channel, and I stop on this movie, Urban Legends. I was like, well, this looks weird. I'm 8 years old at the time. Keep that in mind. That movie scared the shit out of me.
Really?
But I could not turn it off. I was like, I need to watch this whole thing. I want to know what happens. So I'm just like, sitting there like scared shitless. It's going into like 1 a.m. I'm watching this movie.
I feel like the later you watch a horror movie, the scarier it gets.
I was so scared. Like I had to go sleep in my parents' bed. I was like, hey, can I come sleep with you guys? Because
I snuck watched a horror movie.
And they were like, yeah, come on. I was so freaked out.
They
And then the last time that was the last time a movie affected me like that. I was 8 years old, obviously. I saw Us, the Jordan Peele movie.
I still need to see
theaters. That. I saw it in theaters. It's on HBO Max, so just go watch it.
I need to see Us and the other one he did, Get Out.
You haven't seen Get Out?
No.
Get Out.
Get Out. No, I'm terrible at watching movies. We've established this. Like, I've watched way more TV than I watch movies.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like, Get Out is like a cultural landmark. Like, it's a big deal movie. Like, you need to see that movie.
Okay.
And a lot of people wanted Us to be as good, and I think to a lot of people, it's not even near as good as Get Out. I fucking loved Us. I thought it was. I think it's better than Get Out. I think it's better than Get Out, and I'm like the only person in the realm of people who have seen Jordan Peele's movies who thinks that. I think it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I saw that opening night, and I made like it was before me and Ashley lived together. I made her sleep over. I was so scared. I was like, I'm so scared. Can you please sleep over?
No one's making you snitch on yourself.
No, I know. I'm a glutton for that movie scared the shit out of me. I couldn't sleep. I was like laying next to Ashley, just like.
I've never had a horror movie like affect me that bad. I don't know. Maybe I have Asperger's and I don't know about it.
I don't know, man. But like that movie psychologically really affected me, and like I watched. So it scared me opening night. I rewatched it like a year later. It's not as scary the second time. It's just as good. I think it's a phenomenal film.
See, like the what was it? Like I remember like when I was when did that come out? 1998. So I was 11. I played Resident Evil for the first time because it had like just come out. I was not old enough to deal with that. Because, I had seen movies, and movies, like I said, movies are scary because you have no control over what's going on. So you're like, you're a passive participant in a movie. And horror movies back then scared me to a point. But interactive horror, totally different ballgame. And ever since playing Resident Evil 1, I have never been affected by a horror movie the same way I get affected by a horror game, because it's up to me to move. It's up to me to participate. So, like, it creates more tension, for me, at least.
Yeah.
And I felt that way about horror games until... Which I love the fact that, like, Resident Evil 1 was the horror video game that, like, made me obsessed with survival horror games. And then the Resident Evil 7 is the video game that made me go, like, virtual reality is the best way to play any kind of horror game. And now I'm like, I am dead inside to any other kind of jump scare because of playing Resident Evil 7 in virtual reality. It is terrifying. It scares the shit out of me.
It's rare that I actually try out a game. I played the Resident Evil 7 demo.
Oh, it's horrifying.
I'm not playing the game. I refuse. It scared the fucking shit out of me. I can't do it, dude. It was so scary.
I got when I got my VR headset, I was obsessed with just playing horror games that like I would start, it would scare me too much, and I'd stop playing it. But then I would muster up the effort to go forward with it. But there was one game I got for PlayStation 4 called Here They Lie, where so obviously virtual reality can make people nauseous and dizzy and stuff. This game knows that, so it's trying to make the player nauseous by messing with like the landscape and messing with like what you see, and then kind of like try to make you like uncomfortable. And then as soon as you start feeling that way, it makes you have to run from something or put you in a stressful situation. So it's like fourth dimension kind of horror. So
I don't like that.
You know, I didn't think I did either until I started playing it more, and I was like, fuck, like I've only felt terror when like I've had a gun pulled on me or a knife or something, and like this video game is like the only thing of media I've done in a while that is making me feel like I could die now. Like something could happen. Like and I don't know, something about virtual reality is like super fucking dope for the horror medium in general. For me at least. Like I think it's terrifying. Like I put Beth through one of the horror games that I have where it's like what is it? It's called Rush of Blood, where basically it's an on rails shooter. Have you ever played an on rails shooter before?
I have not.
Did you ever play Area 51 in arcades?
No, I haven't. Oh yeah,
or like Time Crisis, one of those.
Yes.
So
okay.
It's that, but you're on a roller coaster that's going through a haunted house, but you also have to shoot things because things are trying to kill you. So it's just like chock full of jump scares and making you go down really steep like caverns on like a little roller coaster track. So it makes you dizzy, it makes you scared, all that shit.
So I don't want that.
No, you do. You want to try it. I'm telling you.
No, I don't.
It is a trip. If you enjoy horror, if you enjoy horror, you'd like it. But
I don't think so.
But she wanted to try it out, and I was like, okay, cool. So put the headset on her. 3 seconds later, I just start hearing, ah! Like she's going like full pitch scream, like just losing her shit. And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, this is so fucking scary, and just like losing her mind. It's I'm telling you, man, virtual reality horror is like the shit. It is so good.
Ashley got one of those like Oculus things for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I played like a climbing game, and I got to the top of the wall, but I couldn't figure out how to get onto the wall.
Yeah.
And Ashley like tugged on my shirt, and I fell. And
yeah,
I'm afraid of heights. So
me too.
I dropped to the ground. I was so scared.
There's a part in Resident Evil 7 that made me very, very, very uncomfortable because I am terrified of the idea of drowning in an area where like I can't like get away, right? Irrational fear, you know? But there's a part where I have to crawl underneath a house through a crawl space, and there's water bubbling up. So in VR, I'm seeing water like right here under my chin with this much headspace, and I'm already anxious because I'm like, I don't like this in real life. So I'm going through, and then the water starts getting higher, and you have to tilt your head up so, you know, you can breathe. So I'm like, all right, so I have to like keep my head above water and keep going through. And the whole time I'm like, something is going to pop up and scare me. I'm already scared, and something's going to scare me. And I thought I was in the clear, and I saw this like little bubble come up, and I was like, oh, okay, shit. It was just like a frog. Then it's a skull, and then all this other shit. And I'm just like, no! I like fell out of my fucking chair because I was like, oh, this is some shit. And then ended up drowning anyway.
Sitting down?
Huh?
Do you play VR sitting down?
Yeah, I've had the best experience playing VR, depending on the game. If I'm sitting in a drum throne, because I can spin around in it if I need to go, if I need to move quickly. If it's like a shooter or something like that, there's a couple games I play standing up. Like I have this game called Swordsman, where it's basically just medieval sword combat or like samurai like sword combat, which is really fucking fun. I'll play those standing up. I play Doom in VR standing up, just because like I have this big like fake gun thing with it too, and it's just kind of fun to like duck on a knee and jump up and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And Skyrim I'll play standing up. But those are the only games I'll play standing up, just because I feel like I can actually get something out of standing and sitting.
True.
Yeah.
Did you see this shit about Metallica's Twitch stream?
No.
So
I saw the group chat popping up about it. I like something about Lars Ulrich.
So their music they were doing a live stream concert on Twitch.
Oh.
And Twitch muted their music and played like random music over it to avoid like copyright infringement.
Oh man, this is the future Lars wanted.
Exactly. It's so funny because it's like they're the reason that online piracy online how did Jeremy put it?
Online copyright claims?
Yes, they're the reason it is as scrutinous as it is, and it's just so funny to have that happen to them in response to that.
How much you want to bet there's just some programmer or moderator at Twitch who was like, I really liked Napster when I was a teenager. I'm going to be petty and just pressed a button.
Yeah. Maybe. I think it's great.
Dude, at that shit, like, I don't know if I would pay money to... I've never seen Metallica before. I don't know if I'd ever pay money to fucking see them.
Not anymore. Like, I would have maybe in the 90s. In the 90s or 80s, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
But they're all fucking washed up pieces of shit who got lazy from being rich.
Yep.
And they can't play their fucking instruments anymore.
Nope.
The only one that can still play is Rob, and he joined the band in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it sucks because he's the best member of the fucking band, and he's not even an original member.
Kirk Hammett sucks at guitar. Like,
that Celtic Frost video.
Oh my god, so bad.
Let's pay homage by butchering this fucking song that barely even
with no drums. Like, why play the cover if Lars isn't going to play the drums for it? It makes no sense.
One or two things happen. Lars either has never heard of Celtic Frost. He's like, who? I'm not covering that. Or to stick to his, like, you know, I can't play another person's music because of copyright bullshit. He probably was like, I'm dying on this hill, so I'm not going to cover their shit. Because he wasn't hype up on that shit until after they put out a cover album.
I cannot.
It's
embarrassing.
They are an embarrassing embodiment of like why I don't ever want to be successful. Like, they are such a joke to where they came from, and I don't shit on people who want to make money playing music. That's fine. I don't got the energy to shit on someone who wants to make music. But that said, I can shit on Metallica all day because at the level of popularity they had and influential like contributions to the style of music they played, they literally just got lazy. It's like, if you're going to be that way, just don't fucking make music. Like, just no one's making you do anything. Like,
in the 90s, their music, they were focusing on making money. And that's fine. But
Disappear has one good riff, though. That meow, 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 meow. It's stupid, but it's catchy.
That was on the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think.
It was.
It was, okay. But, like...
Yeah, not disappear.
I've gone on so many tirades about this fucking band. Like, because the first 4 albums are incredible. Like, and then on the Black album, they were like, oh, let's make, like, a commercially, like, viable record.
Yeah, but Sad But True is a hard fucking song.
No, it's not.
Dude, if a band covered that at a fest, I would just...
A band did cover that. Kid Rock covered it and made it his song American Badass, and that song is hard as shit. I am American Badass.
I'm taking a side road here to tell a funny Kid Rock story. So I was hanging out with, and I will not name names on this because I don't want this person to feel bad, but they're an asshole for doing this to me. We were hanging out at a bar that was doing karaoke, and he was really like stoked about it. He's like, I've never done karaoke before. This sounds really fun. And I'm like, okay, like, what do you want to do? So we're going through all these songs, and he's like, oh, man, like, they have Kid Rock. We should do Ba with the Ba. I was like, all right, cool. Like, if it's the one you want to do, I'll do it with you, right? Because he didn't want to do it by himself. Right. We go up there. We get one ba in. We are a single ba into the song, and he just goes, I'm not doing this shit, and he walks away. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, dude, come. You said you want to do this. He's like, no, this is fucking stupid. And he's just walking away, like, and just vanishes. And I'm just up there, and I'm like, well, I got a ball with the ball on my own. And I did the thing. And then I came back later, and he was like, yo, man, you look really dumb doing that song. And I was like, yeah, thanks, you fucking jerk. Setting me up.
Who was it?
I'm not telling you who it is.
So my to watch list is I talked about Color Out of Space last week. I still need to watch it. So this week I'm hoping to watch that. I bought the Chadwick Boseman movie Get On Up, the one where he plays James Brown.
Neat.
I want to watch that. And then I bought, because it was on sale, I don't know if you knew this, they made a sequel to The Big Lebowski. It came out last year. It's The Jesus Rolls. It's about the Jesus.
So I should make a list of every movie I haven't seen that'll make people angry with me. Because
you haven't seen The Big Lebowski?
No, I haven't.
So
I also haven't I haven't seen Jaws either. Like, there's a ton of fucking movies I've never seen.
All right,
like,
well, let me finish talking about this.
Okay,
let me finish talking about this.
And then you can yell at me.
So the Jesus is a very prominent side character in The Big Lebowski.
I know, I've seen the memes.
And John Turturro, who plays the Jesus, he directed this movie.
Okay.
So it's him directing a solo movie about one of his most famous characters, which is why I was so interested in seeing it.
Okay.
First of all, big John Turturro fan. He's great. He's one of the highlights of Transformers 1 and 2. He's so funny in those movies. Movies are bad, but he's funny in them.
I don't know if you could pick up on that noise I made.
I could, and I'm just going to go on record to say that Transformers 1 was so much fun for... how old was I when
Groans intensifies.
Shut up. 2007. So I was...
There's only one Transformers movie to me, and it's the animated one.
I was whatever, shut up. I was like 14 or 15 when the first one came out. And I lost my mind in the theaters.
Okay.
And the third one is actually a genuinely good movie. Like, looking back critically and subjectively, it's actually really good.
Okay. I am not a fan of Michael Bay, generally.
I mean, I'm not either,
yeah.
But I like those two movies. And apparently, I've never seen it, but Armageddon is apparently very good. And The Rock.
I've seen The Rock is tight. I will say that. And Armageddon I've only seen on TV for like one of the Fox late night movies back in the day.
Oh, Michael Bay also made Bad Boys 1 and 2, and I love both those movies.
Oh, okay. I'll give him those.
He also produced the most recent one, Bad Boys for Life, which was way better than it had any right to be.
That's been on a watch list for me for a while. I've been meaning to watch that.
I saw it, me and my sister, that was one of the last movies I saw in theaters. It was good. Anyway, so this week, let's see, I finished up watching fucking Justice League cartoons, and rather than do what I normally do and start them over, I decided to watch other shows. Because I totally would have just started them all over.
Oh, yeah.
And just gone through. So I've been being pretty reckless on Vudu, like I have been lately. So let's see. So I bought the Jesus Rolls, so that's on my watch list.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Don John?
Nope.
So basically, Jason Gordon-Levitt directed it, and he stars in it. And he's a guy that's like addicted to porn.
Sick.
But he's also like a ladies' man.
Okay.
So it's like, and he's like, like the whole movie's
well,
like...
he learned how to talk to women from porn, obviously.
Well, no.
Every porn has a 100% success rate. So, clearly it works.
The movie's basically like an analysis of like, you know, what watching porn will do to your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the movie's gotten a lot of shit, but it's actually a really well made and really thought out premise.
Okay.
And movie. It's really fucking good.
Okay.
Like, I like it a lot. I highly recommend. It's moving.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that movie. Anyway, and then they had like a bundle and save the movie The Neighbors. It's like Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
Okay, because I always get that confused because I thought there's like a horror movie called The Neighbors, and then there's that one where it's like, well, I moved in next door to a frat house.
Yes, that's that one.
So that premise, as a new, like, since I moved recently, makes me so mad because you didn't have to move in next door to a fucking frat house.
Well, the frat house moved in next door. They just bought the house, and then the house next door was bought by the frat. Like, it happens like simultaneously.
How often? It's very rare that two homes are on sale next door to each other.
It's very rare.
Very fucking rare.
But
I spent a year looking for a new place to live. It was.
Oh god, Jordo.
I've been through a lot. Okay.
Like, a movie like. As like a raunchy comedy, like just like a laugh-a-thon, movie's fucking hilarious.
I do enjoy a raunchy Seth Rogen movie.
And the sequel was just as fucking funny. Like, they're both great.
How do you make a sequel to that? Do they just both move again, or is it like a different weekend?
So in the second one, Seth Rogen and his wife are selling the house, who is played by Rose Byrne, who I'm also a big fan of. She's great. So they're selling their house. The house next door that once housed the frat is empty, and a sorority moves in.
So they have a common enemy in the next movie.
So the second movie takes place while the house that's being sold by Seth Rogen is in escrow. So they have 30 days. So they got 30 days to get the house sold, and the sorority is like just picking up for its first month. Dude, they're both fucking hilarious.
So when they do a third one, is it going to be that like a house that's going to be like a nursery is moving in across the street, and now like everyone has to be quiet?
I don't know. But I don't know if they're gonna make a third one. But
I don't know I don't know how you premise a sequel out of that. It's kind of like how they premise sequels out of what was that movie that was like really popular for no reason? Hangover.
Yeah, you know, The Hangover 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh, it's terrible. It's such a waste of time. Such a waste of time.
The first one's like, it doesn't hold up, but it was funny at the time.
Good premise. Also horribly offensive in some parts.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yes.
And then also another bundle and save, the graphic novel turned movie Red.
Oh, the John Malkovich one?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that on USA like 2 years ago.
1 and 2. Both of them are they're so much fun.
I don't remember much of it, but I had a good time watching it.
Helen Mirren is like incredible. I love her so much. So I watched all 4 of those movies this week.
Dope.
Along with Casino. Or unless I watched that last week.
Oh,
I don't remember when
I fucking love Casino.
I don't remember when I watched Casino, but it's definitely in the bottom tier of Scorsese's for me. I need to watch it again. I've only seen it that one time.
I have never sat through The Godfather 1 all the way, so I don't really know how to base my opinion on Scorsese movies. Like, I've either seen the last 40 minutes of The Godfather, or I've seen the first 20 minutes, or it's been on in the background at work. Yeah. And
so here's a fun fact.
I don't get it.
I watched The Godfather for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, right?
It was a really good movie. It deserves all the acclaim it gets.
I get that. I feel like in this day and age, right? If you haven't seen a movie that is like a big cultural, like, important movie, it's been memed to death. So you've basically seen the movie without seeing the movie. Yep. Like, yeah, that's true. I've never seen The Big Lebowski, but I know 90% of the movie because of the internet.
No, you don't.
I know enough. I know enough to get by.
Jordo.
Same with the Godfather. I know enough to get by. Same with the Lord of the Rings. I know enough to get by.
No. All right. No. We're gonna time out here, and I'm gonna school you because I've seen The Big Lebowski 4 times.
Yeah.
I still don't understand it. So
then why would I want to watch it?
No. So just bear with me, please.
Okay.
Let me get through this because you're completely wrong.
I'll teddy bear with you. Let's go.
So there's like 10-minute segments that have been memed to death of this movie. Mm-hmm. So like people like you and I, because like I didn't watch it until I was like older. Mm-hmm. So like people like you and I are like, oh, I got that movie. There's bowling, and then there's this. There's a rug.
Yeah, there's bowling. There's psychedelics. There's a weird dance segment. There's the dude tripping milk.
The movie is very broad. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot to take in. So I still need to watch it to get it. But, like, it's a good movie.
Okay.
It's enjoyable.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that, like, right.
I don't think that your assessment is fair because I know for a fact that there's parts of that movie that are not memed.
Yeah.
And there's parts of that movie that can be appreciated, like, you know, independent of appreciating the whole film. Like, there's a lot of great shit in there. It's just a weird fucking movie.
So, like, maybe this is the way I'm wired, but I can't sit through and enjoy something if it's been memed to death. Like, I cannot watch the second Christopher Nolan Batman movie. Like, I'll get like 20 minutes into it, then the Joker will start saying stuff, and I cringe out of my socks, and I just turn it off.
Dude, that movie's incredible. What are you talking about?
It's been ruined by people who enjoyed that movie from its launch date to 2015.
I saw it 5 times in theaters.
That chunk of time... Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters. I loved it when it came out. But, like, every motherfucker who wants to wear a fedora and a vest with a fucking Attack t-shirt ruined that movie for me.
I mean... Like, sure.
I literally can't sit through it without feeling agitated.
Well,
like I said, I think I'm wired a little off.
I think you are too.
Yeah.
That's just... Dude, it's such a good movie. Like, independent of people being cringy liking it, it's just a great movie.
Well, it's like anytime I hear the dialogue from the Joker, it immediately just makes me kind of like, because it just... My brain is associating other shit with it now. And it's like, I can't enjoy it. And then... Every time I hear, I don't know, it's weird. And like anytime I hear Christian Bale talk as Batman, I'm just like, this aged really bad.
Bale's Batman is really rough.
Yeah.
He's great as Bruce Wayne, but like, his Batman is very rough.
Yeah,
like I'm a Batfleck stan. I think that Ben Affleck is the best live action adaptation of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
I still need to see that. So I was gonna tell you my before I go on a Batman tangent that's gonna make everyone fucking alienate me, because I don't like the Joker Batman.
The what?
The Batman with Joker in it, the Heath Ledger one. I don't like it. Anyway, what is it? The Robert Pattinson. That I could not think of his fucking name. I'm so pumped for that Batman movie.
It looks incredible, dude. It's going to be great.
To get hyped for it, I noticed how many Batman movies are on HBO Max.
HBO?
So I want to watch all of them. I almost started watching Deathstroke last night, but I was too tired to like think I would stay up for it. I was like, I just got done working out, so I was like, okay, I'll put it on, and then I was like, I'm probably going to stay awake for this whole thing and be up later than I want to, or I'm going to fall asleep in the middle of it. And I hate falling asleep in the middle of movies.
I do too.
I hate trying to find where I fell asleep. It's like, why don't I just watch it when I'm awake? But
I like that as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to watch all of them because there's so fucking many. Because I have all those in my queue to watch. I have.
Are you talking about the animated ones or like all the live action ones?
I'm gonna watch the live action ones I like. I may reintroduce myself to Dark Knight because it has been like 6 or 7 years since I've watched it.
Honestly, dude, I went through Nolan's films last week, or
Mm-hmm.
a couple of the week before we started this.
Yeah.
I went through Batman Begins, Dark Knight,
Mm-hmm.
Dark Knight Rises. I love them all, man. Like, as an independent trilogy,
Yeah.
they're great. I really enjoy.
No, the writing is good. I'm not saying the writing's bad. I'm just I get uncomfortable watching them now just because I can't
That makes sense.
I can't distance certain things, you know.
Well, that seems like a personal problem that you need
Yeah.
to get. You need to surmount, my friend.
I could, or people could just not meme stuff until it's fucking dead.
I mean, that's kind of like the nature of everything, dude. Everything
Yeah.
gets beaten to it all gets beaten to the ground.
It does. It does.
It definitely ruins people's time, or you can be like me and just like ignore everybody and just appreciate
Well,
the art for what it is.
that was starting to happen with Letterkenny, and I'm glad it didn't. I was like, oh no, this like very special little thing I just found that I really like is gonna start getting memed to death, and luckily it hasn't, but it's still like popular enough to like garner new seasons.
Right. So in your rewatch, are you gonna include Batman versus Superman?
Well, I've never watched it, so yeah, I kind of want to.
So on HBO Max, I'm not sure if both of them are available. There's a theatrical cut and the 3 hour long.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Jordo, bear with me, please.
I hate sitting through something for that long.
So I'm trying to. What is it called? It's called the Ultimate Cut. I bought it. I own it. Like,
Oh,
the Ultimate Edition. That's what it's called. So, yes, it is 183 minutes long. But
that just
here's
gives
the
me a
issue.
hernia.
Listen, man, it's really the other day I threw it on just to have in the background while I read because the music specifically in the film incredible. So I was like, oh, I'll just throw this on because like the score is great. So I'll just have that in the background while I'm reading.
Okay.
I have my comics in front of me, and then I closed the book and I just watched the whole movie for 3 hours.
Huh. Okay.
I am in a very vocal minority that loves this movie, especially the Ultimate Cut. So, like, the theatrical version...
See, I'm like that with Batman and Robin. I love Batman and Robin.
I do, too. It's great. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's not a good Batman movie.
No, but it's a lot of fun movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm with you. I love that movie. But, like, the theatrical cut out so much context from the story that Snyder was trying to tell that, like, the theatrical cut made no sense. Like, people were like, this movie's dumb as shit. And then you watch the 3 hour version and you're like, holy shit, that's where all the context went.
It sounds like a bad misstep that DC makes with their movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. It's like, oh, man, you have this vision? Nah, don't have one of those.
So, like, part of it is Zack Snyder should be able to tell the story without having to take 3 hours.
Yep.
So there's 4 different subplots in the movie that like you could probably wrap them up quicker than he does. But like as a movie, it's like a beautiful movie. It's like really well made. The cinematography is great.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people hated Ben Affleck as Batman in it because he's cruel and like old. But it's like he's old and jaded. He's been fighting crime for 20 years and crime is not going anywhere. So it's like he's tired.
I mean,
so this
he kind of got that way in the Tom King run of Batman too, where he started getting kind of very tired of doing what he does. Like he's great at it, but like it gets tiresome.
Yeah. So it's like it's a really great take. It's also a really fresh take on Batman because nobody's ever done that type of Batman cinematically before.
In a movie, you're right.
We've just gotten the fucking... We've gotten, like, the Michael Keaton, like, dark, like, oh, I'm an orphan.
I'm an orphan.
And I'm
I'm
Batman.
I wear a turtleneck all the time. This is it's a sign of wealth in the 90s, is if you have a nice turtleneck.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, he was all turtleneck. Val Kilmer was all dick helmet haircut, and George Clooney was just there.
Yeah, exactly. Val Kilmer rocked.
Keaton.
All right.
Hold on. I think Val Kilmer was a good Batman. Shit, Bruce Wayne.
I think he was a great everything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like Batman Forever. Like, Batman Forever is a fun fucking movie.
Joel Schumacher has made a 2-hour cut that is like apparently a much darker film, and the studio meddled. And we got what we got. Now, I love Batman Forever.
Slapstick nonsense movie.
But I love Batman Forever, but I would love to see the 2-hour cut of it.
Yeah, no, Batman Forever is like one of my favorite Batman movies of all time, next to Mask of the Phantasm.
That's a great movie. Oh my god.
I can't remember who it is, but one of the pages I follow on Instagram, they're supposedly going to be making some they're doing a Phantom
Phantasm shirt?
Phantasm, like, shirt, long sleeve, like, whole merch drop thing.
I saw a preview of it. It looks cool. I don't know who it is either, but
I think it's Espionage VR.
So
I think. Because that's that kid from Vatican, right?
I think so. But anyway, going back to Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
It is tough. If you're not as invested as I am, it is very hard to get through. But if you take the time to appreciate it as a whole, it's so fucking good, dude.
Okay.
It's a 3-hour movie that I find myself rewatching very often.
I'll need to figure out a way to, like, get through that. That's the only problem. It's like, if you gave me an hour and a half movie, I'd fucking watch it right away. Be like, yes, I will sit through 90 minutes. Give me a 2-hour movie. Okay, I'll try to get through it. But once we go over the 2-hour mark these days, it's really difficult for me to sit through the whole thing.
And I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I don't go to bat for this movie very often because it's very hard to get through. It's just like the 4-hour cut of Watchmen. I've only seen it twice, but I fucking love it. But it is very hard to get through. I mean, the theatrical version of Watchmen's hard to get through. It's very long.
Well, like, for example, like, I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes these WWE pay-per-views are like 6 hours long. I don't want to do anything for that long. I barely want to go to work for that long, let alone enjoy something for that much time, Like, give me a 2 or 3 hour pay-per-view, tops. That's all I care about, because in a wrestling pay-per-view, I can walk away for 20 minutes if there's a match going on that doesn't interest me. I can go do something else. I can, I'm not going to lose any story. But, when it comes to movies, it's like, I just get to the point. Like, I'm really bad at that. Like, I think it's because of the way I've been conditioned with TV, where it's like, I get a half-hour episode, and then I can just stop and then move on later.
If I have the time to set aside to watch a 2-hour movie or a 4-hour movie, I'm fucking stoked. I'm like, oh shit, look at all this content. Let's go.
Yeah.
But sometimes, where I'm at mentally, it's definitely a chore. So I understand.
Yeah.
So if you're in the right spot to sit through a 3-hour movie, I definitely would suggest watching the ultimate cut of Batman vs. Superman.
Okay.
I love that movie so much. I understand, and I make excuses for it because it's tough to get through, but I like it.
It might be at the end of my Batman
that's fine.
HBO journey. Because there's so many fucking animated Batman movies on there. I did not realize they made that.
Yeah, dude. HBO Max has kind of absorbed most of what was on Disney Plus. Not Disney Plus. Fuck. Yeah. This happens every time. DC Universe. It's basically absorbed most of what was on there. So we're going to be getting a lot. There's going to be a lot more DC content coming. Because
good.
DC Universe is basically becoming just a comic book. Just like a reading app.
I almost signed up for that until I realized that there's holes in their own library.
Yep.
I'm like, why am I giving you money for something that isn't a complete run?
Yeah, no.
Marvel does complete runs of their, I get it if they're not going to do a complete run of a modern series, but why don't you have a complete run of a series you ran like 10 or 20 years ago that you've had in publication? So maybe it's a digitizing thing. Maybe, I don't know.
But it's just weird. So we're inching closer to 2 hours, so I think maybe we should call it.
We should.
This has been Adult Crash, episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2, baby.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. If there's anything you want us to check out, please leave us some feedback. We'd love to check out what you guys like. And if we like it, we'll talk about how much we like it. And if we don't like it, we're going to fucking crucify you.
And we're going to shit on it. Like, a lot. You bring some dumbass shit, we're going to be like, yo, please don't have an opinion again.
Don't disappoint us.
Don't offer me any goods ever again.
You're such a disappointment to your father and I.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed. All right. Thanks. All right.
Peace.
And then that's the end.
Cool. Let me end the recording.